How to pass driving knowledge or permit test? We are going to cover all these critical 8 points in our video. So let's move on to the first point. Minnesota's driver's manual of 90 pages. Not only read but study properly. By study properly, I mean to read between the lines. For example, if the question comes, which one of the following is true? Driving is a right, driving is a privilege and responsibility, driving is an obligation, or all of the above. The answer is driving is a privilege and responsibility. So if you do not read between the lines, if you do not study properly, you will never give this answer correct. Next question. Carbon monoxide poisoning can render a person unconscious in how much time? The answer is few minutes. The second most important point in Minnesota driver's manual is remember all numbers and signs and time limits wherever it is mentioned in the manual. Remember following speed limits: 10 mph for alleys, 30 mph for urban or town areas, 55 mph for all other locations. The question can be speed limit in urban or town area is 30 mph, 35 mph, 25 mph or 20 mph, and the answer is 30 miles per hour. So if you do not remember the numbers exactly, you'll get confused between these options with the differences of 5 miles per hour. Let's go to the next slide, which says difference between stop and yield sign. So stop means a full stop. Your vehicle should not be moving. Stop at the white limit line or before entering the crosswalk. And yield, so do not get confused. Yield is just if the other vehicles are coming in front of you, then you have to stop completely. But if there are no other vehicles around you, then you can just slow down and watch and pass the intersection. So be ready to stop if necessary, to let any vehicle, bicyclist or pedestrian pass before you proceed, or slow down if no one is there. So that is yield, but stop means complete stop. Now the third important factor in the driver's manual is chapters 3, 4 and 5, which covers the 60% of your question paper. Chapter 3 says traffic laws and vehicle operations. It includes speed limits, hand and traffic signs as shown in the picture, rules for taking turns, and parking rule. So let's go to the rules for taking turns. So if you have to take a left turn, then slow down before making turn. Signal your intent at least 100 feet before the turn. So turn the steering wheel hand over hand and complete the turn in the first lane right of the center line, and then take the left turn. Similarly for right turn, turn the steering wheel hand over hand and complete the turn in the lane next to the curb. Rules for taking turns. So there is a reduced conflict intersections. Reduced conflict intersections are intersections that decrease fatalities and injuries caused by broadside crashes on 4-lane divided highways. So in a reduced conflict intersection, drivers always make a right turn followed by a U-turn. Motorists approaching divided highway from a side street are not allowed to make left turns or cross traffic. Instead, they are required to turn right onto the highway and then make a U-turn at a designated median opening. This reduces potential conflict points and increases safety. Looking towards the right side of the picture, it shows if you are approaching left turns from a one-way to a two-way road, or from a two-way road to a one-way road, or from a one-way to a one-way road, or from multiple turn lanes to a one-way road. So please go through the pictures and get the clarity in which lane you should enter when you're entering from one-way or two-way or multiple lane roads. Next comes the parking rules. So when you park your vehicle uphill with curb, your wheels should be turned away from the curb, that is turn left. When you move downhill with curb, wheels should be turned towards the curb, that is turn right. And uphill or downhill without a curb, if you are parking your vehicle, wheels turn towards the right. So all the way it should be always the wheels turned right, except uphill with curb, which says away from the curb, that is turned left. So remember this thing. And in all curbside parking, wheels should be positioned no more than 12 inches from the curb. So this you have to remember, no more than 12 inches from the curb. It can come in the question paper. Now this is the most important question which comes in almost every test. If you enter the intersection at yellow light and then light turns from yellow to red, what should you do? Drivers must continue moving through the intersection and clear it safely. Driver must come to complete stop at intersection and reverse. Driver should speed up and raise the red signal. Driver should stop abruptly at yellow lights. So the answer is driver must continue moving through the intersection and clear it safely. Because you are already in the intersection. If you stop abruptly, the vehicles which are coming from the back side can hit you. So, and it can also jerk yourself, your back can get hurt. So do not stop abruptly, do not race also, just watch carefully and clear the intersection. If you are entering roadway from alley or private road and no pedestrian walking by and no bicyclist or vehicle crossing by, what should you do? Stop completely and then enter roadway. Stop for pedestrian and then enter the roadway. Stop for bicyclist and then enter the roadway. Slow down, and if intersection is clear, enter the roadway. The answer is slow down, and if intersection is clear, enter the roadway. You do not have to stop if there is no pedestrian, no bicyclist or no vehicle crossing by. Chapter 4, the most important, sharing the road. So you have to remember that every life counts. So you have to give importance to each one of them sharing the road. School bus, bicyclists, commercial vehicles, and you should learn the concept of late merge or zipper merge. School bus. On non-divided highway, all cars should stop 20 feet away from school bus when red light are flashing and stop arm is extended. On divided highway, only the cars in ongoing traffic should stop and not the cars going in opposite direction. So the question can be, on a non-divided highway, if school bus is showing flashing red light, what is the safest distance to stop the car from the bus? Answer is 20 feet. Next would be passing a bicyclist. So passing any bicyclist, keep at least 3 feet distance between your car and bicyclist. What is the minimum safe distance for a driver to pass a bicyclist going in the same direction? So answer is 3 feet. Remember, 3 feet. Passing a commercial vehicle. On a level highway, it takes 3 to 5 seconds longer to pass a commercial vehicle than a car. On an upgrade, commercial vehicle often lose speed, so easier to pass than a car. On a downgrade, commercial vehicles' momentum increases, so you may need to allow more distance to pass. So remember, commercial vehicle is heavy, so on downgrade, it will increase the speed. So you will take more distance to pass the vehicle, and on upgrade, because of its heavy weight, it will take time to go up, so it reduces the speed of the commercial vehicle, so you can easily pass them. Fourth point is no zone and blind spot. This is the most important. Commercial vehicle driver cannot see 20 feet in front or either sides of the vehicle and 200 feet to the rear of vehicle. So you have to remember these numbers: 20 feet in front or either sides and 200 feet to the rear of vehicle. So the question can be, how far a commercial vehicle cannot see in front of his vehicle? Up to 20 feet, up to 30 feet, up to 50 feet, or none of the above? So the answer is up to 20 feet. Late merge or zipper merge. Late merge says stay in your current lane up to the point of merge and then take turns with other drivers to safely merge as shown in below video. Question can be, zipper merge benefit drivers by reducing the difference in speeds between the two lanes, reducing the overall length of traffic backup by as much as 40%, reducing congestion in freeway interchanges, or all of the above. So answer is all of the above. Chapter 5, Signs, Signals and Pavement Markings. So you have to remember all the signs which are there in the driver's manual, all the signals, pavement markings, and you have to remember the shapes, colors and meaning of all signs and pavement marking concept. So coming to the sign color meaning. Red signals prohibits and commands. White says you regulates. Warning signs are yellow, yellow-green and orange. So yellow warns you, yellow-green warns and controls in pedestrian and bicycle crossings and school areas. Orange warns and controls in construction zones. Information colors are green, blue and brown. Green guides and informs. Blue describes services for motorists. Brown indicates historic, cultural or recreation sites. Common shapes are stop is octagon, yield is triangular, diamond shape the other yellow signs, speed limit is rectangle, pentagon school zone, and railway crossing crossbuck, and railway ahead is in circle. Shape of a stop sign is pentagon, hexagon, octagon, decagon. So if you remember the shape, the answer is octagon. Confusion between two similar signs. Both the signs look zigzag. When you read it, you'll remember, but when the question comes, you'll get confused between these two signs. So remember, the sign which has a car in it is the slippery road ahead, and the sign doesn't have a car is the winding road ahead. Similarly, the school zone and pedestrian crossing signs. So pedestrian crossing has one man in a diamond shape, and school zone has two persons with a pentagon sign. So you have to remember these. What does the below picture signifies? So if you remember it, the answer is slippery road ahead. What does the below picture signifies? So this is winding road ahead. What does the below picture signifies? School crossing ahead. Now coming to signs, signals and pavement marking. Dash lines says that both way traffic can pass, and solid yellow line in the second picture, if you say One is dash line and the other one is a solid yellow line. Solid yellow lines means you cannot pass other vehicle. But the dash line says you can pass other vehicles. So here the upside can pass the vehicle, but the down one cannot pass the vehicle because it is a solid yellow line. And if both the solid lines are there, no one can pass the other vehicle. So, and if there are multiple lanes and there's a white dash lines, so white dash line says you can change the lanes, but solid yellow line says you cannot pass in either directions. Road with 3 lanes with traffic moving in both directions. Center turn lane is reserved for traffic turning left from both directions. So if there is a solid yellow line but in between there are 2 dash lines and showing the direction for left turn, so this is made for taking the turns in the left. Multiple lane road with traffic moving in both directions separated by a solid traffic divider. No shoulders at inner edges of roadway. So in this you can see there is a complete divider, so you cannot go to that side. That's why 2 solid yellow lines are there, and in between your lane you can change the lanes with the white dash lines. Revise all below key points from which 40% questions surely comes in test.
Let's go one by one to all the key points.
First, 60 days to apply for license after becoming Minnesota resident and 30 days for commercial license. On high beam, headlights must make objects visible on the road ahead from at least 350 feet away. Your headlight must be turned on any time you cannot clearly see the road ahead for a distance of at least 500 feet. Speed limit. The speed limit on 2-lane highways with a posted speed limit of 55 mph or higher is increased by 10 mph when the driver is lawfully passing another vehicle in the same direction. 10 mph for alleys, 30 mph for urban or town roads, 55 mph for all other locations. Over speeding fine. Additional fines will be charged if you are caught driving 20 mph or more over the posted limit. Fines will double if you speed in marked construction zones. If you are caught driving in excess of 100 mph, your driving privilege will be revoked or a minimum of 6 months. Signs or indicators are to be activated at least 100 feet before you make the turn. U-turns are illegal near the top of the hills on curves where other drivers cannot see you from 1000 feet away. When passing another vehicle, you must return to the right side of the road before coming within 100 feet of an oncoming vehicle.
Do not pass on a curve or hill where you cannot clearly see the road ahead for at least 700 feet. Do not pass within 100 feet of an intersection, underpass, tunnel, or railroad crossing. When a vehicle is properly parallel parked, its wheels on the curb side will be positioned no more than 12 inches from the curb. Parking is not allowed within 20 feet of a crosswalk at an intersection. Parking is not allowed within 30 feet of any flashing light, stop sign, or traffic control signal located at the side of a public road. Parking is not allowed within 50 feet of the nearest rail of a railroad crossing. Parking is not allowed within 10 feet of a fire hydrant.
Vehicles parked on the highway at night, both lights must be visible from a distance of at least 500 feet. If a vehicle has a passenger airbag, it is essential for children 12 years of age and under to ride in the back seat. Children under 4 years of age must use a federally approved, properly installed child safety restraint system. Infants must ride in a rear-facing child safety restraint system until they are at least 1 year of age and weigh at least 20 pounds. A child cannot use a seat belt alone until they are age 8 and 4 feet 9 inches tall. On crash Insurance information must be given to the law enforcement officer investigating the crash within 72 hours. Flashing yellow lights will be activated at least 100 feet before a school bus stops in a speed zone or 35 mph or less, and at least 300 feet before it stops in a speed zone of more than 35 mph. When a school bus is stopped with its red lights flashing and stop arm extended, you must stop your vehicle at least 20 feet from the bus. Stop your vehicle at least 10 feet from the nearest railroad or gate. It is illegal to pass any vehicle within 100 feet of a railroad crossing. Emblem must be displayed on all vehicles that travel at speeds of 30 mph or less, slow-moving vehicles. When you are within 1000 feet of an oncoming vehicle or following another vehicle at 7 county feet or less, your headlight must be set on low beam. While parking on highway, if you have flares or reflectors, place them from 100 to 500 feet behind your vehicle on the right edge of the main road. Stay at least 500 feet back from any firefighting vehicle. If a projecting load extends 4 feet or more from the rear of any vehicle, a red, yellow, or orange flag, at least 16 inches square, must be attached to the end of the road. At night, a red lantern or lamp visible from a distance of at least 500 feet must be attached to the end of the load. If you pull a camper or trailer with your vehicle, you must maintain at least 500 feet following distance from other vehicles. Trailer measurement: maximum length 45 feet, maximum width 8 feet 6 inches, maximum height 13 feet 6 inches. In heavy rain, standard cars may begin to hydroplane at 35 mph. Your driver's license may be revoked if you are convicted of driving in excess of 100 mph. A person with an alcohol concentration of 0.08 or higher, 0.04 if the person is driving a commercial vehicle, who is in control of a moving or parked vehicle, can be arrested for driving while impaired. If a law enforcement officer can prove that alcohol caused the driver to commit driving errors, he or she can be arrested for DWI at an alcohol concentration level as low as 0.04. Special tips. So to pass the test, take online free practice test only few times before the test day. Do not take it more number of times because that will give you stress. Take only few times. Sleep for at least 8 hours before taking the test to make you stress-free. Revise all key points early morning before taking the test. All the key points which I read before. During the test, if the confusion arises, do not hurry, just rethink. There is no fixed time duration to complete the test. You can take 1 or 2 hours also, so be patient, rethink, and select the right answer. 1, 2, 3, 4. So many wrong answers are coming. Do not panic. Just meditate. Close your eyes. Take deep breaths. And relax. And then again read the question and rethink and answer properly. Count all wrong answers to put more focus on next question. Remember, there are 40 questions and only 8 can go wrong. For each wrong answer, there is a prompt message which comes during the test. So keep counting those wrong answers so that you will be prepared and more attentive in the next question to give it a right answer. All the best!